Hola amigos, welcome to Life for Living Well channel. Please subscribe to keep the channel going. You can also check us out by visiting our website on www.lifeforlivingwell.com. Sit down and enjoy the helpful topic for this week. Hey, hello, welcome back to another episode from Life for Living Well. My name is Richard. So let's get started. The topic I have for you this week, I call it Power of a Moment. But before I start this week podcast, I quickly want to say if you'd like to know more about Life for Living Well, you can check us out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. We put an article every week about a particular podcast that we do in a week to the website. So let's get started. Once again, my name is Richard and welcome back to this platform. So let's get started and dive into it now. Power of a moment. In our life, a moment can be a big significant period and revealing when it is used appropriately without feeling time wasting on our part. And this is the thing that happens sometimes, that most people find it difficult to remain still for even for 2 minutes. So it's either they film blow with their phone or they film blow with anything that's available to them. They find it difficult to just be still and be an observant of what's going on around them, despite the obvious benefit of this style of living. And it's a practice that it can become a powerful tool when we embrace it as part of our life. It's simple tool, but this is to show that the ancient believer of this particular way of life, it brings significant benefit to their life in terms of their health, in terms of their mind, in terms of their emotions. It allows them to find themselves grounded and balanced. So you will find out as I continue in this podcast. So in our life today, a moment can be a big significant period and also becoming very revealing when it is used appropriately without feeling time wasting on our parts. We can't even just be on the line, on the queue. We start looking to our watch or we start looking to our phone. Or we start judging other people, the way they speak, the way they talk, the way they do things. Why? So how do we change this? So it's a question I ask myself, it's a question I'm throwing to you. What is a better way to use being in a moment? It's another question. Only when we are mindfully present can we truly experience a moment. And that alone can unlock many unknown doors in our deepest needs. Last week I went to a race course close to my place. As I sat down under the tree, there's so many activities that goes around me. The rowers were rowing their boat in the river. Someone was sitting under another tree reading a book. There are also a lover of the horse race that are coming from the race and going on. And all these things are so many events that are going on, and I didn't have enough time to really embrace myself with it. So I closed my eyes. And what I noticed after I closed my eyes is the power of the winds. They are coming from two directions. And the moment they collide, they create their own unique sound into my ear. My skin feel it. And I can also listen to a tiny vibration of the leaves of the tree that's beside the bench that I was sitting. It was an experience that only if you experience it, then you can really catch the glimpse of it. It's not something that is easy to explain, but being a moment is something that you not always predict what it's going to be. You're not using your mind, you're not using your brain. You become a channel that surrender yourself to that moment, and the time is no longer relevant to you at that moment. What you will eat or what you have to do another time is relevant to you at that moment. So at that moment, the only thing that can't is the experience of the event that's going on around you. So only when we are mindfully present can we truly experience a moment, and that alone can unlock many unknown doors into our deepest needs. We over exaggerate our intellect. We use it a lot to want to understand everything. We use it a lot to calculate what we want. We use it a lot. But some of the challenges that we have in this world are not always have to do with intellect. In fact, most of them might be intelligent problems. And every time we try to use intellect to solve intelligent problems, we create more problems. We have a solution on the surface, but on the root down of that problem, we have not touched it at all. Look today, the world can communicate in a few seconds compared to how they communicate even 100 years ago or even 300 years ago. If you are not born, if you don't know, you can really Google into it and type how the people communicate 200 years ago. You know how much it takes for a distant lover to communicate with each other. You probably do that twice a year. Send a letter and it takes 6 months to arrive. Today, you can do it in a second on the flip of a finger. And we took it for granted because we thought that's the only thing we know, especially generation now, and that's how things used to be. No. So today, as much as we solve that challenges of communication, we also create more problems that people now want even microsecond faster because they cannot wait for 1 minute or 10 minutes to respond. If somebody doesn't respond then, they fire off another follow-up email or text or call because they feel uncomfortable. They need to know. What about being present? Feel what you feel. Try to get why you're feeling that way. So these are the things that when you embrace the power of the moment, you begin to see the dynamic the moment takes. Most things that we help our life, will make us a better person, is given to us free. But we don't appreciate. How will you appreciate it when you don't know you have it? Take for example, your breathing. Most people breathing automatic. They don't know the nature, the pattern of their breathing. Only when you stop and you take it inward then you notice how you breathe. And if your breathing stops for a few seconds and you struggle to breathe, then you begin to appreciate it. So you should never get to that state where you run to trouble, and that's when you begin to recognize how important breathing is for you. Sometimes we eat one of our delicious foods, so we watch the TV, we feel the teacher, we reply the text, we make a phone call, but we eat it. After we finish the food, we don't even know how the food tastes like, because we are not really eating. We just consuming it. These are the things that power of the moment may help us to change if we embrace it. I'm not saying it's going to be just straightforward, like you're learning any new thing. It's not something that you practice or you embrace into your life. Just start from one area of your life. Don't try to implement power of the moment into everything you're doing, because it's not something that you've been doing already. So these are the things that focus it on the small thing. Let's say this week you are cleaning your apartment or cleaning your rooms. Focus on that alone and focus on your breath at the same time. So few obvious benefits stated by the practitioner, such as surrender of impulse reactions and experiencing peaceful inner and external world. So evidence have shown that people that have embraced power of the moment, they don't always reacting to things that happen outside of them, even inside of them. These are the people that they chose their reactions. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time. They no longer just react. Most people stay in a reacting mode. When something happens, they even make the worst decision of it at the same time. But practicing being in the moment often in our life will not only just become a symbol of what we do, it will transcend into our personal life. Even if you say 1 minute or 2 minutes every 1 hour, you begin to see the shift in other areas of your life. And this is very crucial. Every time we try to change or make improvement in certain part of our life, it always cascades into other areas of our life that we are not negotiating for. Take for example, someone that took exercise into their daily habits and they do it vigorously. They might not see direct impact in their life in the first few weeks or first few months, but after a few months later, what will happen to them is they beginning to not only looking well or feeling well within themselves, they also notice that they begin to take personal responsibility to their actions and inactions. It affects their self-esteem. They begin to have a clarity of purpose. And these are the fruit of changing one side of their living. So the same thing with the power of a moment. When you embrace it, you might not see the impact directly, but what will happen with time is you begin to have a meaning between when you react and when you act. And what you find yourself doing more than what you used to do before, you're becoming to be more acting rather than reacting to an event. Because when you're now acting, maybe the best action for that event is do nothing or say nothing. But if you compare it to how you used to be, it's either you do something or you say something. So few obvious benefits stated by the practitioners, such as surrender of impulse reactions and experiencing peaceful inner and external world. We all know what happened where documented Isaac Newton's story of gravity highlighted the power of a moment. According to the historian, he sat under the tree and he watched, and the fruit fell down on the tree. He was curious about it, and that is the birth of gravity. And when you think about this thing, it wasn't something that was premeditated. That okay, I'm going to just, it was just there at that time, and it was present. And he beginning to question the behavior or the actions of what just happened at that moment. And most of the great inventions in the world today, it happened by accident. It's not something, most things that they focus and try to do. It's not always end up in a way, it takes longer. But some of our moment is a moment where you relax and you are present and you're able to capture what you see at that moment, and you're able to translating it to physical world, how it benefits the world. Today, this law of gravity has helped our development in aerospace, engineering, architecture, and many other sectors. Just because it was present at that moment and he saw the fruit fell under the tree, that was transcending, developing by other people, expanding it. And now it goes to the field of aerospace, is to break the gravitational force so it can lift up from the ground, and then we can travel now from one point to another point of the world in hours, compared to years when people will travel and it's limited to where they can go. And only the few can avoid it. But today, many people can avoid it just because of that one action of one person. So you see that our design, our engineering also take this theory into consideration when they're developing all these innovations that we have around us. So most great inventions are born out of a moment when we deliberately practice stillness with our mind, without judgment, just experiencing what is going on inside and outside of oneself as an observer. So in order to practice power of a moment, it is important to know that you are not just judging or analyzing what is going on. You become an observant of it, including yourself, what is going on inside of you. And I have the habit of asking people when they experience something. The first question I ask them, how do you feel? What is always alarming me is that most people don't know how they feel. They think what they feel. And it's only when we can combine all these things together that we can make the better decisions, that we can change our own life, that we can unlock all the locked doors of opportunity. So embracing the power of a moment, we also allow us to break whatever restricted us that we have no idea about it. So when you embrace this practice into your life as a lifestyle, your growth will experience exponential growth in many areas, such as choice of life, you want to live, you will suffer less. And as a result, your inborn gift may awoke beyond your expectations. So the benefit of practice power of a moment is so rich. But as I mentioned earlier on when I started this podcast, sometimes when we started to embrace a new way of life, we want immediate benefit, immediate result. And sometimes we want the result to be tangible. This kind of change, the benefit you begin to experience might be intangible changes, but it's something that will be obvious to you with passage of time. So it requires you patience. Evidence has shown the benefits that are attached to power of the moment, such as being creative, inventions, healing generational trauma. So there are many more I can list it to you when you embrace just tiny good behavior, tiny good tools, tiny way of life into your practice. So there are many benefits in this practice. The power of a moment to improve your emotional, financial, psychologically, and mental well-being. So because if you don't have, it's like a room that is dark. If you don't put a light on it, you will not see what you have in that rooms. You might have a slight idea, but if it's never your rooms, you never have the opportunity to put a light on it, or you never been there in the daylight where you can see it. You just left everything on chance. So the life is too porous to just leave it on chance. So what I say to you, be deliberately to embrace the power of moment into your practice, into your life, and then you shall see the reward of it with time. I hope this podcast helps someone. And if you like to know more or you like to contact me, you can write to me at info@lifeforlivingwell.com, or you can check us out on our YouTube channel or check us out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. Whatever you do this week, have an amazing week, and please stay safe. Ciao, hasta luego. Bye. From everyone here, from Life for Living Well, we say hasta luego, amigos. Thank you for your time this week. May your rest of the week be safe and loving. Please subscribe to our channel to keep it going. And you can find more information on our website by visiting www.lifeforlivingwell.com. Goodbye.